Hat number 5 comes from my other uncle, Uncle Eric. He's a big Cubs fan himself. He always takes me to the games. He's got a season pass, usually on like Sundays, and we'd go to the games after church. And he's been taking me regularly since 2008. And I got this hat from him when I was in 7th grade, I think. And it's another Brand 47 Cubs hat. This is kind of similar to the last one I showed you. The difference is it's adjustable with the buckle in the back. And it's got the Cubs C in the front. And you can tell I really, really like this hat and wore it out because all the nice sweat stains to it. So I don't wear this also as often because of all the sweat stains. It kind of looks kind of nasty. But I wore this during the 2016 playoff push for the Cubbies, knowing that this one that I wore a lot to the games when I was younger in middle school really was kind of my good luck charm. Otherwise, not too much other history behind it, but this is hat number 5 in my collection. So 3 Cubs hats in a row in the beginning to start off a good hat collection. Let's go into something a little bit different than you would expect. Hat number 6 is something that I borrowed from my dad's collection. Let me show you. Hat number 6 in the collection is something I borrowed from my dad, and he doesn't wear hats too often anymore. I think it would help him. He's balding on the top, but he's just not a regular hat person, which is fine. But he has a lot of good hats in his collection that I've kind of merged into my own. And this is the first one that I kind of added to my collection. I wore it a lot when I was younger, and it was just kind of a different hat. It was a different style that I've seen, and just a cool hat. It's a bucket hat. It's kind of a fishing hat in a way. Well, take the bucket hat, and a bucket hat looks like this. It's not adjustable. It's kind of got like a weird oval shape to it. So, kind of like a brim on the front that goes all the way around. It's meant for like the sun and helping with the sun protection. The story behind this hat is it came from Walmart. My dad got it sometime in the 90s, and one of his friends, DJ, got the same looking hat from a Walmart the same day. It was just kind of a weird coincidence or phenomena that they both got the same hat at a Walmart on the same day. Like, hey, I like your hat. I like your hat. It was just a hat that I would wear quite often during a marching band camp in the summer, during high school. And just, you're in the sun for so often, it helps in the front, but also in the back, because your neck's always exposed. Sunscreen helps, but this helps just a bit more. This hat I haven't worn in a while, because I have a bigger hat collection, but I need to kind of start wearing these forgotten early hats more often. But this is a cool hat, just because it's different. I like these kind of bucket hats. I might try to get more in the future, just because they're different. So let's move on to hat number 7 on the list. Hat number 7 in my collection is a very special hat in terms of the accomplishment for this sports team, what they did back in 2003. Now, I didn't get the hat when I was that age in 2003, when I was in 3rd grade, but eventually I assimilated it into my collection. Hat's very important to this team's history, kind of early on success, kind of turned into tragedy later on, especially from one fan who had fan interference. But otherwise, it's still a special hat. The 2003 Chicago Cubs NL Central Division Champs hat. Now, this isn't the official hat that they probably used on the field when they won, but this is a commemorative hat nonetheless. I mean, this hat, represents 2003. It was an exciting year for the Cubs. It just came out of nowhere. We had Mark Pryor. We had We had Kerry Wood, the Kid, Carlos Zambrano, before he was totally a rage monster. Or maybe he was still a rage monster back then. Anyways, then you had Aramis Ramirez, great third baseman. You had Sammy Sosa still there, Moises Alou. You had all these great guys, and being led by Dusty Baker. 2003 was the year when the Cubs were entering that World Series discussion, and they were playing the Florida Marlins at the time. Isn't that so long ago to call them the Florida Marlins? They've gone through so many changes. They've gone through like a name change twice or so. It's like they went through one name change. They went through 2 different looks. It's so confusing for them. But this was 2003 when the Cubs played the Marlins in the NLCS, and the whole Bartman incident happened. My Uncle Eric was at that game. He said he was about 50 feet away from the Bartman incident where Bartman sat. It was kind of intense. And if you don't know the Steve Bartman incident, the curse, look him up on YouTube. I'm not going to take the time now to explain it, because it should be a common knowledge by now, especially if you know your baseball. It became a curse, in addition to the Billy Goat curse. When I was in 3rd grade, that's when this was happening. My only recollection of the event, the NLCS, I had the easiest homework ever. Now, if you're thinking, no homework, that's, easy homework, but the easiest homework that I ever had, you have to actually be assigned something to do for homework. The easiest homework I had was by Miss Carasulis, and all she wrote in the corner where it said homework, root for the Cubs. Easiest homework I have ever had. I got, I think, an A++ on that one. Oh, pretty good time. To be honest, I don't wear this hat too often, just more of a collector's hat, but I've worn it a few times to Cubs games, or, well, when I'm watching the Cubs games, really. So let's move on to another Chicago team with the next hat. I don't know when specifically I got this hat, but it's considered one of my first 10 hats. This hat is a Chicago team, but this is my only Chicago Bulls hat. Duh, Bulls. This is a all-wool hat, so I don't wear it too often. I don't know why someone would make like an all-wool hat. Even the bill is wool. It's kind of weird. It's a Nike hat. Velcro adjustable in the back, and it says Bulls. So I don't wear this hat too often. I've worn it a few times. I've been to Bulls games. My Uncle Eric has taken me. The last Bulls game I was at was in 2014 or 13. I think sometime when the Bulls were in the playoffs and they played the Milwaukee Bucks, and we had like near courtside seats. Okay, maybe like 50 feet from the court, but it was still a good game, and we won that game. And I'm pretty sure that's when Derrick Rose was still playing for the Bulls. So you can kind of age that back quite a bit. I've been wanting to get their City Edition hat from Nike, but I just haven't clicked the buy button just yet. But I will soon. They're in the rebuilding phase. They got hit recently with losing their one of their top rookie prospects. But once we get Garpax, the owners, the GMs, out of the way, things will be smooth sailing for the Bulls. Let's move on to the last 2 hats now. My number 9 hat comes from 8th grade, when I was involved with Lego Robotics Club. I was involved with the club when it started in 6th grade for middle school. My 6th grade was the first year of the program, and I was an original member with a bunch of my friends, and it was a lot of fun. Of my non-band and student government council activities, this was the most fun I had in any school club. And 8th grade, I was on the team Super Solar Powered Lego Dudes, or just Dudes for short, or sometimes as we would refer to Dude, just for shortening it. Each year for Lego Robotics in the first Lego League, it was based off of a science theme. 6th grade was nanotechnology, 7th grade was about climate change, and 8th grade was about energy conservation, or maybe it was the other way around. Either way, it had to do with like energy and global warming and climate change. this hat is from when we went to nationals. We went to regional competition at our middle school we hosted. Then we went on to state competition. And at state, we got second place. The first place team chose to go to the international competition in Georgia. But for our team, we went to nationals at Wright College in Dayton, Ohio. And that was in May. And we had to, deck out in spirit wear in our gear. So we made our own hats. Our super solar powered Lego Dude hat. This is a hat. To be honest, I don't like wearing this hat. It's got it's not that it's a trucker ventilator. The inside brim is fuzzy. It's just so weird, and it does not help with sweat. And to be honest, this isn't my actual dude hat. I lost mine when I was in high school, freshman year, marching band car wash fundraiser activity. I lost it, and whoops. So this is actually my brother's hat. I don't wear it too often because of the sweatband, and the front is kind of dirty, so I don't wear it too often. But this hat was really special for me to wear in competition. I'm going to provide a few pictures during this time talking of when we were at nationals. We stuck to it, and it was probably the 3 best days of 8th grade. And this upcoming May of 2019 will be the 10th anniversary of us going to nationals. So, such a long time ago. I am so old, guys. This professor is so old. So, and the best part, it's green. It's green. Green is my favorite color. So, really glad we could have this hat. The front logo, as you can see, is a Lego Dude. And we have our mascot, Steve. Our mascot, Steve, was a Lego character, which I still have. He hangs on my top mantle in my room. And just kind of our mascot for the whole season. So this is hat number 9. This is really special to me. And I really wanted to go over the specialty and the sentiment and the stories about it. I could go on for hours about Lego robotics, but let's move on to hat number 10. So my last hat for this session of my hat history, the first 10 hats, I'm going to go over a hat that I adopted with a school event I was a part of. Was involved with class board in freshman, sophomore, and junior year. Freshman year I got involved with this charity event, and I was the leader for it. I organized the whole team, and really stuck with me. Really enjoyed being a part of this event. We could have raised more money, to be honest, but we did pretty well for our team. And my dad was a part of this charity event years ago. Before I did it, I saw his hat and I adopted it into my collection. My 10th hat in my collection is a dad hat, literally dad's hat, of Relay for Life, sponsored by the American Cancer Society. It's a charity event that goes on all year round, many locations across the USA, maybe globally, but maybe we'll just stick with America for now. Just a pretty simple dad hat. Got the logo on the front, nice purple rim here, purple trim, and it's got kind of an awkward fit in the back, to be honest, but I just mainly have this hat just for the sentimental value that it holds, being a part of the event for 3 years in high school. And it was okay when I was inside in the gym, but that's when it was raining out. But then the next 2 years I was outside on the track in the football stadium. Very fun. So this is hat number 10 in my collection. Alright, class, that is the end of Hat History, Part 1 with Professor Hatter, going through my entire hat collection, hat by hat, story by story. This first episode, we went over the first 10 hats in the collection, and from here on out, it'll be kind of a standard opening that I pre-recorded, and from there on, It'll be about 4 to 6 hats per episode, per part, just to, keep things tight. So that's where we're going to end today. Hope you enjoyed this history lesson. And as always, make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you're liking the video. That's your homework. Commenting in the discussion board down below, comment section. And to make sure you're on time for each new video, hit that notification bell in the corner. So, as always, thank you for watching. Hats off to you. Have a good day, guys.